Hey everybody, I am going to try to leave this message. It's sort of a continuation of what I've been talking about. I think that as believers, there can be a lot of pressure on us, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. If we feel that as Spirit-filled believers in Yeshua the Messiah, that we can only bring our best when we come to the table, what are we doing with our worst? Really think about it. If we feel that we can only show up at our best, what are we doing with our worst? Who are we talking to? Hopefully we're talking to God about it. But I think that this is a lot of pressure for people to live under day in and day out. And quite frankly, I'm feeling that pressure, and I want to share it candidly. And I'm just in this very candid, raw place in my life because I feel like, how can I help anyone if I'm not being raw, if I'm not bearing things, if I'm not removing the mask? How can I help anyone if I'm not being real? First of all, we need to be real with God if we want Him to truly change us. And if we want to help other people, we need to be real. So I'm feeling such a fire about this within me. We need to to feel that we can come to each other no matter how we're doing. Yeah, now there's a fine line because some people are just in a pity party. And so you don't want to be going there with them continually. You want them to look at the Lord. The other thing I want to talk about, which is directly related, is that Yeshua said, I only do what I see my Father doing. You know, our soul may tell us that we should do X, Y, and Z repeatedly, but God is not telling us that. And so the enemy of our soul might say to us, the voice that we hear, well, how could you not be there for that person? How could you not give them X amount of dollars on the street or whatever it is? How could you not? First of all, that's not the voice of God. Yeshua said, I only do what I see my Father doing. What is my Father doing? That's what I want to get on board with. And codependency, the voices of codependency, the shoulds, would like to tell us that we should be doing X, Y, and Z when God is absolutely not. We really need to tune into the voice of God. How do we know the voice of God? We spend time with God. We spend time in His Word. We spend time in His presence, and we get to know Him. There's no shortcuts to getting to know God. We need to spend time with God with no agenda. Just, Lord, I want to be with you. I just want to be with you. How do we get into the presence of God? Well, some of us blow the shofar. Some of us sing. I have my tambourine and my shaker, and I've got a few different instruments, and whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. You might dance first. You might read the word first. It doesn't matter. Stand on your head. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes for you. Some people begin to pray in the Spirit. Whatever it is. God doesn't care. He's not a religious God, a man-made religion. God wants us to be free. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom and liberty. God wants us to be free. Free to love Him. Free to follow Him.